Welcome to the Vandal Insider Podcast, presented by Inland Orthopedic Surgery and Sports Medicine Clinic of Moscow and Pullman. Let the team that takes care of the Vandals take care of you. Get the latest information on University of Idaho athletics you won't find anywhere else. It's all here on the Vandal Insider Podcast, every fan source for all things Idaho athletics. Here's your host, Dennis Patchin.
Welcome to another edition of the Idaho Vandal Insider Podcast. On this edition, we'll talk to head coach Thomas Ford Jr. about the disappointing finish to the Sacramento State game and look ahead to Saturday's final game in the Kibbie Dome with rival Idaho State and the final game of the year. Also joining us will be Nate Azzopardi and Jake Cox, a couple of Vandal seniors who have been with the football program for 6 seasons and will play for the final time as a Vandal this weekend. We'll talk hoops with members of each team, Trey Blassingame from the men's side and a Pinheiro from the women's team. And the commissioner of the Big Sky Conference, Tom Wistrcill, will also join us. It's a jam-packed show. Saturday, the Idaho Vandals played for the final time on the road, trying to wreck the hopes of Sac State in their playoffs. In the first half, the defense sure did their part.
Play fake. Now he's going to roll a little RPO option, and he's going to go down in the backfield. He sidestepped Ringer, but he could not sidestep Matthias McLean, who drops him for a loss.
But the offense struggled to get points. Idaho gave up just 6 points in the first 30 minutes, but still trailed by a field goal. The Hornets built the lead to 10 after 3 quarters, but then Idaho's offense woke up. First, Nate Thomas took it in from 7 yards out for the Vandals' first touchdown of the game.
Picked up 10 yards straight ahead. This time they're going to hand it off to Thomas. Puts his head down. Touchdown, Idaho! Nate Thomas off the left side. Bursts through the line and scores a touchdown.
That cut the lead to 3. And then with 3:17 left in the game, Joshua Wood gave the Vandals their first lead of the evening.
McWilliams in motion, comes to the left, speed option to the right. Wood cut it up at the 5. He's in. Touchdown, Idaho! And the Vandals have their first lead of the game.
Idaho led it 20-16, but Sac State would drive 67 yards in 14 plays for the game winner with 9 seconds left. The drive was kept alive by a play where the Hornets receiver was clearly out of bounds, but ruled in by the crew on the field and upheld by the replay official. For head coach Thomas Ford, it was a disappointing day, mainly because of the loss.
Not the outcome we were looking for. Felt like our team played well enough to win the football game and had some unfortunate circumstances at the end there that didn't allow us to come back to Moscow with a victory.
On Monday, the Big Sky Conference addressed the matter on the no call and admitted the mistake of the crew who was working that game. They issued this statement. The Big Sky Conference has reviewed the play with 12 seconds left in the game between Sac State and Idaho. It is evident an incorrect judgment was applied to the play. The Big Sky acknowledges and regrets this error in officiating and as a result has suspended multiple officials who worked this contest. The conference will have no further public comment on the matter. For head coach Thomas Ford, he says the statement doesn't change the outcome. He did say it was nice for the league to say the call was wrong, but that doesn't take away the sting of losing that game that way.
It shows that the Big Sky cares, and they didn't get it right, in the moment, but wanted to make it right as best they could. And obviously you can't go back and replay the down by any stretch, but it was good to be validated in the sense that they did make a statement to get it right, and I'm very appreciative of the Big Sky and the commissioner for doing so.
Ford says now the only thing this team can do is get ready for Saturday's season finale against Idaho State. It won't do the Vandals any good to look back at last week and what might have been.
We're really looking to move forward. We really kind of talked about it yesterday as kind of flushing it, right? And there isn't anything that we can do to go back in time, but there's certainly a lot we can do to prepare for the future. So that's really what we have our sights set on, is moving forward with Idaho State and getting our last home game and sending our seniors off with a bang.
And the Vandals had better be ready for what's ahead. Senior Day, the final game of the year, and all that comes with it.
They know that this is the last one that they'll have in a Vandal uniform, and I think they're just really looking forward to putting together a great week, because obviously it doesn't just happen on Saturday. And so I think those guys have very positive attitudes. They're very optimistic about everything that's happened this season, even though maybe our record does not show that. But I think that this group is really excited and fired up to play their final game in the Kibbe Dome.
But it's more than just trying to control your emotions. This football team Idaho will be facing is good. The Bengals, with a win, would finish at the 500 mark in the season, and it would give them 5 conference wins. And it all starts with their quarterback, Jordan Cook.
Good athlete. He can get out of trouble himself. I think they do a great job with their protection plan, getting the ball out very quickly. And then he's athletic enough to extend plays. And so sometimes as a pass rusher, you have to have a lot of patience when you play against a team like this. And you really have to do a great job of owning your assignment, and the sacks will come. I don't think you can really force them against a team like this. So I think it's going to be a act of patience with that front 7 group. But make no mistake, they can run the football very well. Their running back number 28, I think he has almost 1,000 yards on the season. He's had 2 games with, I think, over 200 yards rushing. And so they do a really good job being balanced as well. Yes, they air it out and they're going to throw it around, but they do a phenomenal job on the ground too. So we've got a lot to prepare for defensively, but I know our kids are really excited for the challenge.
But for Idaho, this game really isn't about the Bengals or even the Vandals. For Ford and his coaching staff, it's all about the senior class and trying to get them one more win.
Obviously, the impact they've made within the program is tremendous. I mean, these guys were a part of changing the guard, so to speak, getting us to having high expectations, having playoff aspirations year in, year out. And so from that standpoint, they've given everything to make that happen. And again, to lay the blueprint and the foundation for our younger players. And obviously for me, these guys have left a huge impact on me. A lot of these guys really wanted me to be the head coach when Coach Eck left, and that speaks, I think, volumes for itself. Just their relationship that we've had over the past really 4 years now, and their ability to, just really lead, and not just, rah-rah lead, right? Truly lead by example, doing the things behind the scenes no one talks about, having their player-only meetings, really leading the charge and doing it the right way. And so these guys will forever have an impact on me for not only being great players, but just being really good human beings, guys that I know are going to have tremendous success in whatever they get into next in life. And hopefully for some of them, they continue to play. And I know there's going to be, a few guys in that senior class will certainly have an opportunity.
Our coverage starts Saturday at noon Pacific, 1 o'clock Mountain Time with the Idaho Beef Tailgate Show. Kickoff is 1 hour later, 1 o'clock Pacific, 2 o'clock Mountain Time. This Idaho Vandal Insider podcast is presented by Inland Orthopedic Surgery and Sports Medicine Clinic of Moscow and Pullman. As the Vandals team physician, orthopedic surgeon Dr. Matt Taylor cares for elite athletes, weekend warriors, and everyone in between. Let the team that takes care of the Vandals take care of you.
It's a special week here at the University of Idaho with the final football game to be played in the Kibbe Dome on Saturday, and that means Senior Day. And we are fortunate and lucky to be joined by 2 longtime seniors who have been part of this football program for a long time, Nate Azzopardi and Jake Cox. Gentlemen, first of all, thank you for being here. Does it seem like it's almost done?
Well, thanks for having us first off.
Yeah.
But,
thank you, Dennis.
No, we were just talking about this. We've been roommates for a while, and last night we were talking about it. It's a little surreal that it's coming to an end, but that's life. We've been here for 6 years, so our time's probably up.
Okay, so, and I just found this out. I did not know this. You guys were actually roommates your true freshman year. You got to campus. You 2 were roommates for the first time, and you've been roommates the entire time.
Yeah, this is we're going on our 6th year living together. I mean, at this point, I think we are starting to drive each other a little crazy, but, I mean, it's rare to find a roommate that you live with for 2 to 3 years. I mean, we've been together for 6, and I wouldn't have it any other way. He's like I look at him like my own brother now, and so I'm just grateful that, I got to meet him when I did.
No doubt. Like he said, it's like a brotherhood now. So we talk more than I talk to my own family. So
yeah. I mean, this is going to be one of those relationships that 30 years from now, it's going to be just as good.
No doubt.
Yeah, my dad always told me, your high school friends you stay close with them, but the friends you meet in college are the ones that you spend the rest of your life with, honestly. So I can see what he meant by that. when you move out of the house, you have to grow up, and so we kind of grew up together. So.
Both you guys got the extra year. Do you feel? I mean, it wasn't fortunate at the start because of all the stuff that you guys missed out on. But by getting an extra year, do you feel fortunate that you got that and the ability to play another year of football and cement those relationships?
Yeah, I mean, when I got here, I told myself that I was going to play 4 years and I was gonna get out of here, and start my life. But we've been blessed. We got to spend an extra 2 years here. 6 years is a lot of college football, but our journey, the memories we've made here, the teammates that have come through here that we've got to be friends, be brothers with, I wouldn't trade my journey for anything.
Well, and the other thing is amazing too is not only do you get the extra year of football, Nate, you're going to graduate with your master's here in December. Jake, you're going to walk out of here in the springtime with your master's. The extra year has given you guys another jump in life.
Yeah, without a doubt. The master's is big, and that extra year was big for me. I don't know if I was quite ready last year after the knee deal, but I'm really glad that we got those extra years.
Let's talk a little bit about this week. Have you gone through we taped these on Monday, so have you gone through, well, that was the last Sunday meeting, and will you go through, well, this is the last Tuesday practice, and this is the last hard practice? I mean, will you go through those things, do you think?
I kind of am a little bit, but also I want to just kind of enjoy it. I don't want to be sad, which it can be, when it's come to one chapter of life has come to an end. But I'm really just trying to take it all in, enjoy these last couple lifts and practices with my brothers, and then hopefully end the career with a W on Saturday.
How about you?
He's completely lying. He's the most dramatic. He'll be crying all week. Don't let him do that. But
I'm doing my best,
like
all right?
he said, taking it all in, just enjoying your last week, and these are the days that we're going to remember for the rest of our lives. So just really taking it in, like you said, getting a dub.
You don't know what Saturday, and I'm talking from the time you wake up until the time you play the game. You won't know what that experience is until you go through it. What do you expect that experience to be like?
Honestly, for me, I don't think I'll feel anything during the game. Like a game's a game for me. I usually feel the same way, whether it's the first game of the year, the last game of the year, whether it's a playoff game, regular season game. But I think as the clock's winding down and whether we win or lose after the game, when you're taking your pads off and you're kind of saying goodbye to some people, I think that's when it will really hit me.
Yeah, I remember in high school, my senior night, I kind of lost it before kickoff a little bit, and I've never done that before, so I wonder if that'll happen, but I don't think so. It's just another game. Your
mom's, dad's, family members will be there. Will that make it easier, or will that make it harder, do you think?
I don't think it will have much of an impact, honestly. I just think, really for me, I'm really focused on ending on a good note. And, this season a lot of things haven't gone our way, but this is the first time where I think Sam Brown was telling me, this is the first time we're going to have a chance to end our season on a win. And so I'm really looking forward to that opportunity, and I just hope that, we can send the rest of the seniors out the right way.
This is uncharted territory for the fact the last 3 years you didn't know when the season was going to end. I mean, there was no, hey, it's our last game, and that whole week it was like whammo, season done, and for guys, whammo, season career. You've known for a couple of weeks that you're not going to make the playoffs. I know it wasn't easy when you got eliminated, but the fact that you can plan, you can work on your emotions, you can do those things, has that actually made it easier than it was the last couple of years?
Not for me. I really liked winning. So I love going to the playoffs, and I think that next year this team's going to go to the playoffs. So I think it's just a little bump in the road, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I would love to be in the playoffs right now. I'd love to be spending Thanksgiving with the guys on this team,
Yep.
But that's not the cards we were dealt this year, and so all we can do is make the most of it. And again, I'm really going to take it all in on Saturday, and I'd love to walk off the field as a winner, my head held high.
I don't know what the future holds for you guys playing-wise, so I'll ask you this question. Do you think you'll miss football, the playing of football?
No doubt. Doing hard things are fun, and accomplishing hard things are even better. So I think that winning football games and doing what we do, the hard things every day, is is fulfilling. So I'm going to miss that.
Nate?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to miss football a ton. This game has given me some of the best friends of my life and has given me a ton of memories. But more so, I think I'll just miss the camaraderie of everything. The locker room, the plane trips, all the things that we did together. Going through all that and working towards a goal with 100 brothers. That's what I'm really going to miss. Looking back on it, I think.
Is there anything you're going to take away from this, not memory-wise, but put in your back pocket-wise, that maybe you aren't supposed to? Have you identified something? You don't have to tell me. You just had to say, yeah, I'm taking that with me right there.
I've thought about a couple things. I'm going to make sure that I have whether it's a man cave or an office later on in life, it's going to be decked out in Vandal gear.
Okay.
So we're going to make that happen.
Jake?
Couldn't have said it any better.
Okay. When somebody is going to ask you in 20 years, maybe you haven't even thought about this, but you're a Vandal. You're a Vandal for life. I mean, you've got it tattooed on your forearm with your number and the Idaho Vandal logo. What is it going to mean to you? Is it going to mean something different than when you were playing?
Well, my dad growing up would tell me we'd sing the F Boise State fight song, the old Idaho fight song.
Yeah, I know. I've heard it. Don't sing it. Thank you.
I grew up singing that. So I've always been a Vandal for life, and so I'm glad that I got to live it and really know what it means. It's special.
Yeah, I mean, anytime someone asks me about Idaho down the line, it's going to be nothing but good memories and the good times that I had while I was here. It's probably, I can comfortably say it's been the best 6 years of my life living here and meeting everybody I got to meet. But also, I'm going to have something to pass on to my kids, and I'm going to have something to watch every Saturday. I'll always be cheering on the Vandals. I'll always be paying attention to what we got going on, and hopefully one day I'm in the position to even give back and help them later on down the line. But this place is special, and you don't truly realize it unless you've been here and you've been in this room and you've been in this locker room with these guys, with this community. And so again, it's the best decision I've ever made.
You both have graduated from this university and will receive a second degree before you leave this campus. Do you have a favorite memory that isn't about football, that isn't about hanging out with the guys, that maybe a student, just a college student would have had? Is there anything that was like, when I look back on that, that's something I'm really going to remember, and it didn't really have anything to do with football?
Yeah, honestly, when we were freshmen, every day we would go to the rec and we'd play with the frat kids, play basketball. And that was some of the most fun I had in my time at Idaho, is just going down there and hanging out with all the students and playing basketball and getting competitive with those guys, and it's awesome.
For me, honestly, the summers. I remember finishing a summer workout on Friday or Saturday and the whole team going down to the Grove Apartments, the pool they got there, and just spending 5-6 hours there all day, the whole team, having fun, playing volleyball, swimming, just really bonding, as we grew closer before season. But I'll remember stuff like that, being around the team, being around the guys, and just really making those relationships.
You talked about the locker room, and that's something you'll miss. And almost every athlete, doesn't matter what the level they play at, always says, I miss hanging out with the guys. I miss the locker room. Sometimes I don't miss the practices as much. I'll miss the games, but I'll really miss the guys. Is there anything else, do you think you'll miss when fall rolls around next year?
Tommy McCormick used to say this. I don't know where he got it from, but pressure is a privilege. And there's something about being in the huddle and getting your name called, that rush, that feeling of, I'm about to get the ball, I'm about to score. It's no better feeling. So I'm definitely going to miss that pressure.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. Another thing I think I'll miss is we've lived in the same apartment complex on A Street for the last 5 years now, and when you go to the back of the lot, you'll look over and you kind of get the view of, the fields and the dorms and the dome and all that, and I love that view, man. I love getting in my car and seeing the dome. I love when I would come back from a break where I was at home, driving in to the Palouse and seeing the dome, finally getting back into Moscow. And so I think I'll miss little things like that. Like I said, this community, Northern Idaho in general, has made us feel like at home ever since we've got here. And this is a really special area. And I think just being around it, I'll miss a little bit,
Nate Azzopardi, Jake Cox. Guys, thanks for sharing your memories. Enjoy Saturday if you can. I know it's not going to be easy, but it's been my privilege to be able to know you guys, to call your games, because I was around when you guys first got here, and now I'm around when you guys are leaving. That makes me feel old, and I'm old anyway, but I appreciate you guys being here. Thanks for everything you've done for the University of Idaho. Thanks for the way you've handled yourself, the way you've carried yourself, the way you've presented yourself as not only Vandal football players but University of Idaho students. And it's a privilege and an honor to have you guys both on this podcast this week.
Thank you so much. We appreciate everything you do.
Appreciate it.
This Idaho Vandal Insider podcast is presented by Inland Orthopedic Surgery and Sports Medicine Clinic of Moscow and Pullman. When he's not caring for the Vandals as team physician, orthopedic surgeon Dr. Matt Taylor provides the same MVP orthopedic care to our entire region. At Inland Orthopedics, our team is your team. Welcome back to the Idaho Vandal Insider podcast. Always great to welcome the commissioner back to our facility here. Tom Wistrcill, the commissioner of the Big Sky Conference, joining us. Thanks for being here, Tom. How are you?
I'm doing great, Dennis. Great to be with you as always.
We appreciate that. There's a bunch of things that the last time that we talked that kind of have unfolded, and I just kind of want to touch base on some of those. Sacramento State is leaving the conference. Utah Tech and Southern Utah are coming back into the conference. When you guys make a decision to add schools, what's the process? How do you go about, and what's the walk us through how that becomes reality?
Well, it's obviously part of my responsibility as commissioner of the conference to always be looking ahead, thinking about what could happen, what's next, what are the opportunities out there. Obviously, Sacramento State, certainly had made it very public of their wishes to go FBS. And so when they announced they were leaving the league, then it really gave us an opportunity there to say, okay, they're gone. So what do we do next? The time was right with the with the WAC dissolving for us to look at Utah Tech and Southern Utah. They're in our footprint. One of them obviously used to be with the league. Good travel for our teams. Utah Tech is a really growing university in a growing area in St. George. And so financially, it made sense for us to add them. Numbers wise, it's good for us to bolster our numbers out west. And so, we had many discussions. It's on every meeting that our presidents have is talking about the landscape of college athletics, the potentials for additions and what could happen in the future. So, it wasn't a surprise to our presidents when I brought it to them because we talk about it all the time. And then it's up to the presidents, obviously, to vote and to decide to offer membership. I had discussions with both presidents of those schools and ADs as well about their fit in the league, what I thought was an opportunity versus what couldn't be. And so once then it was just a matter of making sure our presidents were aware, here's what we're doing, here's the timing of it, here's the list of items and details within the deals that we were going to strike. And then it was just a matter of them voting on a Zoom call one night, turned around, called both presidents the next day, and 24 hours later, they were both signed and sealed, and we had a public release. So it was all more about preparation and communication, and that made the timing, work out really well.
Sounds like it's one of those things that you're in a situation where you're always waiting for something to happen, sometimes good, sometimes not good. But as long as you're prepared for whatever happens, then you can move quickly and get yourself where you need to be.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And, like I said, the waters are choppy in college athletics right now. So, you just never know when the next one's coming. So you're always game planning things out. What if these schools leave, or what if those schools are available? And let's talk about this and play this out. So we're always doing that type of thing anyway. So the important thing is just making sure our presidents are aware of what the opportunities are, that they're thinking about it in those terms. And we have a president's meeting coming up in a week, and we'll talk about all the different scenarios again with them. So it's just always top of mind, and it needs to be during this time in college athletics.
One of the things that is interesting is we've gone with an odd number of football teams, and that kind of creates some scheduling problems, if it will. How do you fix those problems?
Well, we've done a couple things. The FCS has gone to a permanent 12-game schedule now. So we've increased our conference games to 9 starting the fall of 26. We'll play a conference game the first week of the year, which used to be week 0 in August, for the next 3 years. And then after that, we'll start with non-conference games. But so going to 9 conference games helps us absorb that odd number. We still will need some team to be on a bye, at least one every week. And so, Dan Satter, our deputy commissioner, has worked really hard on setting up a schedule for fall of 26. That, of course, has been announced now. So that's a really good thing. But it does create some scheduling challenges. And now our teams at least know that they need to find 3 non-conference games, just like they have in the past. But giving them 9 conference games is a really important piece of that, just to cut down on travel and also, a lot of non-conference games, we have trouble getting teams coming out west, and so we need to alleviate that stress as much as possible.
You spent 3 years with Learfield, which is a broadcast company. How do you think that helped you run a conference?
So much of what we do is about growing revenue, growing exposure. And so I think it gives me that lens to look through our business that way, which is how do we help alleviate the financial stress that our schools are under, whether it's in media rights or sponsorships, whatever it might be. My job is to grow the reach, potential, the revenue for the Big Sky Conference, and then return those dollars back to our schools. So I think my background in sales and marketing and sponsorships is key, because that's a goal we talk about every day here in the conference office. Is what are we doing with this? How do we move the needle here? And so I think your background plays into that. I also think because I was a Division I athletic director for 6 years, that helps me know what our ADs and presidents are going through on campus. So I think the combination of those things helps me in my job. But nonetheless, like I said, it's a goal every day for us to find ways to move the needle financially.
Well, you kind of worn all the hats. You also played basketball while you were getting your undergraduate degree. So I mean, you know what the student athlete is going through.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I loved my time as a student athlete. It goes by way too fast. I think that's one thing I talk to our student athletes about is when you're in the middle of it, you think, oh my word, this is such a grind. But, you show up as a freshman and then pretty soon you wake up and you're a senior. It just goes by really quickly. So I talk to them about cherishing the memories. And, one of my favorite sayings that I say to student athletes is there's nothing like a winning locker room. Doesn't matter what sport it is, to be together with your teammates celebrating after a win. You miss that desperately after your career is done, and you just strive to go back and say, God, if I could just do that one more time. And so it's so much fun to be around our student athletes when they're achieving their dreams. So I'm lucky that I got to experience that. And still on occasion, I poke my head in the locker room after a win to experience it again.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. And I think that if you have shared experiences with coaches, with athletic directors, heck, maybe you'll be a university president someday. But and student
No
athletes
thanks.
with student athletes, I think that makes your job easier because you have empathy. You know what is going through in the good times, but also the bad times.
Yeah, I love my time as a student athlete. I love what college athletics stands for. It's why I've done this as a career for 33 years now. And, it's just, I feel that special feeling every time I step on a campus. I kind of look at it as I've just never graduated. I can step back into campus and feel a part of the excitement and love the energy that happens. And, when I walk in one of our stadiums or on the field or watch a tennis match, just to feel the joy of what college athletics is all about. Yeah, times have changed, right? It's about money and name, image, and likeness, and some of it has changed. But at its core, and that's what I love about the Big Sky, is we're doing it the right way. We're still about graduating student athletes. We're still about the student athlete experience and bringing people back to campus and feeling the joy of coming to Moscow and celebrating homecoming and those types of things. I mean, that's what makes college athletics special, and that's what I love about it. It's what fires me up every day.
You know, we've had Terry on here to talk about how NIL and those things are impacting a university from her seat as an athletic director. How is NIL impacting your seat as the commissioner of a conference?
The realization that our athletic directors and coaches and student athletes are looking through their own lens differently than in the past. I think it's a dramatic change. It's made it a little more transactional. Student athletes in some ways thinking, hey, what's in it for me? Why is that guy getting $10,000? I'm getting $5,000. You know, it's changed things. It's changed the way our ADs look at their jobs and the things, the pressures that they're under on campuses. Our presidents have had to adjust to that as well, and that's been very different because, again, universities are not set up in this way where we're going to pay students to do things. So, you know, it's a very interesting dichotomy that we find ourselves in, the push and pull, again, of that student athlete experience and graduation versus, hey, I need more money to keep my players so I can win. It just doesn't fit well in the educational institution. So it's something we talk about a lot. It's very different now, and we have to adjust our goals. We have to adjust our long-range planning as a conference based upon those factors. So that's changed here. It's, you know, as I go through my 7th year as commissioner than it was, you know, at the beginning. And I have to adjust the way I run the conference and run our office to meet the needs of our institutions.
When you say that, it doesn't seem like you've been there 7 years. Does it seem like it to you?
No, you know, I mean, you know, what's funny is I think for everybody, COVID is like a blur. Like that seems like it was forever ago, 5 years ago, and that's so much has changed, and I find still so much joy and excitement in being around our student athletes and coaches and being on campus that it doesn't seem that long. But yeah, it'll be the first week in December is coming up. It'll be my 7th year. I'll be starting my 8th year then.
Wow.
So yeah, no, it's been a really enjoyable ride. I love our President's Council. They're a really good group of people that care about the right things. Our ADs are like partners and friends, and we work really hard together to move the conference forward. We're not without our challenges and problems, just like every organization, but I feel really privileged to be a part of this conference.
You know, one of the things I love about you is you made sure you were on campus to watch a football game everywhere. I mean, I kept running into you. I saw you in Flagstaff. I saw you in Moscow. I saw you in Cheney. It was like, and you know, I mean, that takes work, but I know that's important to you.
Yeah, it is. I mean, being visible is very important. I want our coaches and administrators and student athletes to see me. I make it a point to see every team, every football team once. Fortunately, sometimes when I'm on campus, I can also pick a volleyball game or a soccer game
Yeah.
up as well and get a chance to see them. And they need to know the conference just isn't this thing that's in Utah that sets up schedule. That I'm actually a real person and I really care about them and their success and talk to them. So plus, like I said, I get energized by being there and being a part of student athletes, and love being on the field for games and just being a part. I guess that's the coach's son in me coming out. That I grew up that way, always being around the practice field and around games, and like I said, feel privileged to still be a part of that today.
Um, what's it like to sit on the NCAA men's basketball committee?
It's an unbelievable privilege to be a part of that process. It's the greatest 3 weeks in sports. It's a hard work, January through April, but it's a labor of love. It's a great committee that all of us care deeply about doing the right things and spend so much time watching games and players and being ready to talk about them and to vote the right way and to try to get those best 68 teams in the tournament. I'm entering year 4 of a 5-year term, and it's been just the thrill of a lifetime from a career standpoint to be a part of, and really excited about this year. And already been watching a number of games this fall, getting ready for March Madness. So it's a great deal and fun to be a part of, no doubt about it.
It's, you know, I'm on multiple Hall of Fame committees, and I feel great for the people who get in, but I feel even worse for the people who don't get in. Do you have that kind of empathy for teams that get left behind?
Absolutely. That's Saturday night before selection Sunday. We're making the decisions at that time. And, it's pretty much turned into an 18-hour day for the committee. Many times every year we've been up past midnight on that Saturday night, really diving into, like, you'll have 5 teams on the board and 3 of them are getting in, and how do you separate out? And you just absolutely feel sick to your stomach about those 2 teams you're leaving out, because you're crushing their dreams. And at that point, it's razor thin margins. Every team's flawed. Every team has a number of losses, maybe some big wins. Maybe there's no head to head or anything that makes the decision easy. So you're just agonizing over those decisions. Last year, we agonized for 3.5 hours over those decisions. We took multiple breaks. Many of us went on a walk at 11 o'clock at night, walking around northern Indianapolis, just trying to gather our thoughts and just think about things. And you just stress over this because like I said, you're crushing the dreams of, and in this case, these young men who have worked their tails off to get themselves on the bubble. And so you agonize over that on that Saturday night.
Tom, last question for you, and it deals with the Starch Madness. I love that term, the Big Sky tournament in Boise. You got to be really proud of what your team has been able to accomplish in Boise and what that means now to that community and what it means to both the men's and women's programs.
Our staff works every week on Boise, and John Casper runs that tournament for us and does a great job. And we're very fortunate to have people that care so deeply about that tournament. Our goal is just to make it an awesome event. I want our student athletes to walk in the arena and go, wow, this is a big time event. This isn't just a regular season game. It's a conference tournament. You're playing for your opportunity to go into March Madness. And so every week we're doing something Boise related, whether it's sales or marketing or ticketing or event operations or work with hotels. We love the Starch Madness thing as well. It's a cool play on words and the tie to Idaho and the city of Boise, and that we got good partnerships there. There's still opportunity for growth. We still need to connect a deeper level with the local community and get more local people to come out. But Dennis, you've been there, and if Idaho's playing somebody, that place is rocking, and it's fun to be there, and it's a real tournament. We're really proud of it.
Tom, we appreciate it. Thanks so much for joining us. Thanks for taking time. It's always great to get touch base with you, and we'll see you somewhere down the line.
Sounds great, Dennis. Thanks for all your work.
At the time we taped our interview with Commissioner Wistrcill, the Big Sky had made no comment on the questionable no call in the Sac State game we talked about earlier. In the statement, the conference again said it will have no further comment on the matter, and in their eyes, this case is closed. This Idaho Vandal Insider podcast is presented by Inland Orthopedic Surgery and Sports Medicine Clinic of Moscow and Pullman. As the Vandals team physician, orthopedic surgeon Dr. Matt Taylor cares for elite athletes, weekend warriors, and everyone in between. Let the team that takes care of the Vandals take care of you.
Welcome back to the Idaho Vandal Insider Podcast. We are now joined by Idaho Vandal basketball player from the men's side, Trey Blassingame. Thanks for being here. How are you?
Yes, sir. I'm good. Thank you for having me. Glad to be here.
You've had an interesting time here at the University of Idaho. And we'll talk about some of those things here. But you were in that first group of guys. I don't know if you were the first guy, but if you weren't, they were holding the door for you as you were coming through the door. How did you wind up here at Idaho?
Man, that's a great question. Starting my college career, I went to FDU in Jersey. I committed late. Didn't really have any other looks coming out of high school, and they called me late. Decided to take a chance on me. So I had a pretty decent year there. Played a few games, probably around 15, 20 games I played. Battled injuries quite a bit there. But after that season, we went to the tournament. Beat Purdue in the round of 64 game, lost to FAU in the round of 32 game. That was an awesome experience. And then after that, Coach Tobin, who was my coach at FDU at the time, got the Iona job. So from there, it was pretty much just a given that I was going to transfer. And entering the portal was scary for sure. Did have some looks. Got an offer from Southern Utah that, I don't know, it was interesting, but seemed kind of fishy at the time. So when Coach Pribble reached out to me throughout the process, it was definitely reassuring given that I had a relationship with him already when he was at Seattle U and knew him. I know one of the guys that was signed here already, Tyler Linhart's one of my best friends. Unfortunately had to medically retire this year, but still one of my best friends. And he signed and spoke highly of Coach, and thought that I'd be a great fit along with him and the other guys that were here already. So from there, it was just a done deal.
You're a Pacific Northwest guy.
Yes,
you grew
sir.
up in the Seattle metro area. So going to New Jersey, how did your mom handle that?
Oh, man. Well, fortunately, unfortunately, when I went to FDU, my family moved to Arizona. So I actually call Arizona home now, I guess. But I think it was good that they were kind of doing that, and she didn't have really much time to worry about me, but it was definitely a lot of check-ins, a lot of making sure that I was good. So I think it was a great experience for me individually, though, to like get away from home and live on my own and, you know, get from under mama's roof.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, when you sign up for a new program, like you did when Alex is here, because his first year is your first year, and this team, this program hadn't had a lot of success for a few years.
Yep.
Is that kind of a leap of faith when a coach says we're going to do this, and this, and you kind of look and said, I know you're new, but last year, the year before, you didn't do any of that stuff.
Yeah, that's true. Definitely a leap of faith, but I think that faith came with good knowledge and good wisdom from the belief I had in Coach Pribble, honestly. The guys that he was recruiting already, I knew were my friends, and they were good players. I knew the level of competition that would be here. And also, I mean, just look at Coach Pribble's track record. He was winning at every place that, you know, he was at the helm at. So I had a lot of trust in him going off of just our conversations and what was important to him as a coach, you know, the little things. And it was a leap of faith for sure, but I was pretty sure about it. I was confident in it. I was confident in my decision, and that it would be a good fit.
You grew up in that Seattle basketball vibe, which is, you know, arguably one of the greatest areas for basketball.
For sure.
I mean, people don't – if you don't live in the Pacific Northwest or on the West Coast, you don't know how good basketball is in Seattle. I mean, people here on the East Coast, I'm sure when you went to New Jersey, you were telling them how good they were. They were saying, you're full of it. It isn't. What's it like to grow up in that community where you did of the basketball world in the Seattle metro area?
Man, it was huge. I'm so grateful for it. My background, AAU-wise, I played for Seattle Rotary style, so I was constantly in the city playing with different other kids. I lived in Auburn, which is about 20 minutes outside the city, and that's where I went to high school and stuff. But being able to still play for the premier organization in the city was so awesome. Like being in the gym with players like Paulo Banchero, Nolan Hickman, constant, so many professionals older than me and kids coming up that are at big time schools. There's just a lot of slept on talent in the Pacific Northwest for sure. And being in the gym with those guys, it gives you confidence, lets you know the level you're at, and then, you know, when I step on the court anywhere in the world, I'm confident because I know I've played against the top level of guys, top caliber.
When was when you play in that city, because you're playing AAU, but you're also playing pickup games all over the city, and guys are. When was your first holy crap moment when you walked into a gym? You're on the floor and you look across and you're playing somebody like somebody.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. It happened so early for me. This was one of my core basketball memories. It was 7th grade. I had just played AAU for like a feeder team in my area. Weren't very good at all, you know, wasn't playing good competition. But my dad, he grew up in the city, and he had very deep connections with Rotary and with the city and all that stuff. So once I decided that, I told my dad I really want to take basketball serious and, like, I want to be good, that's when we decided to go to, like, a Seattle Rotary. I don't know if it was a workout, a tryout, or what it was, but Paulo was there, Nolan was there, JT Tiamalahu, or however you say his name. He plays for the Indianapolis Colts now, DN, but he was a monster on the hoop court. Shane Noel, just a number of great hoopers, and I played terrible, like so awful. I definitely looked like I shouldn't belong. I cried after questioned my dad like if I want to do this or not, and he just told me, he was like, honestly, the only difference between those guys and you is their mindset and their work. You know, it's like they've been doing this for longer than you. They've put in work, and their mindset is becoming of their work. So from that moment on, it just ignited a fire in me to work really hard and to just really lock in and devote my all to basketball. And after I did that, I started seeing success just through, you know, putting in that said work that was needed.
We've heard about the pros coming back and putting their arm around a 15, a 16-year-old and giving them some words of advice. And they're always there for the younger players, and it's fostered this community where every one of these guys is coming back helping the younger guys. Was there one guy for you?
Man, definitely a few. Isaiah Thomas was a big one for me. Him and my dad had a real close relationship and close bond, and growing up in the city, he was always inviting me to work out and come to open gyms and stuff. And being around him, his message to me was always just play confident, play free, you know, kill. And the reason you can have that mindset is because you put work in and you do the work behind the scenes, you know. And just having a guy like that who's done things as great as he has at the highest level, you know, is like, it gives you all the confidence in the world and all the belief to just keep going and keep your head down. So, yeah, he was definitely one of those guys. B.J. Blake, another one that has been huge for me. Adding him on the staff has been great for me. He's definitely given me great knowledge, helped keep my head steady. So, yeah.
Last year you didn't get to play.
Mm-hmm.
You had that hip injury. How hard was that? Forget about the physical things you went through. How hard was that mentally when basically the injury that you had and the same one that Titus has now, it's like you can't do anything.
Yeah, anything. Yeah, you're pretty immobile. It was extremely tough for me. I feel like I have a lot of energy. I feel like I'm constantly moving. So to be able to get that taken away kind of puts a damper on things. But ultimately, I just felt like it was a blessing in disguise because, for one, it allowed me to get in the weight room, put on some needed muscle, and then it was also good to see the game from a different perspective. We had a whole bunch of new guys last year come in, K. Mitch, JP, a lot of good pieces who are like our main guys, a couple of our main guys now. So being able to see how they play and then be able to implement myself like based off them and, you know, kind of find a role from the sidelines, if that makes sense, was, I feel like, a blessing in disguise. You know, I definitely wanted to be out there. Definitely felt like I could have made the team better last year, but I believe everything happens for a reason. So,
every time I saw you last year, didn't matter where it was, in an airport, on a bus, on practice, here at home, on the road, at a game, after the game, before the game, you're always positive and you were always upbeat. And I know that's your personality, but how did you maintain that through last year when basically you got told you can't play basketball and you can't do a lot of the things you've normally done?
For sure, man. Honestly, just wanting to still be there for the team and help the team win. You know, I obviously couldn't play, so I feel like having that mindset of what can I do to help my team better allowed for me to have energy or, you know, even on the days where I didn't feel good or I didn't want to be there because I can't practice or I can't do this or that, like to still be an outlet for my guys, someone that they can lean on, someone that they have that they know believes in them and, you know, will always be there for them.
And now you get to play again this year.
Yes, sir.
What was the I know you've been practicing for a while and able to do some things, but what was it like the first time you stepped out on the court in that very first game?
Man.
Back where you are so comfortable.
Yeah, absolutely. It was surreal, honestly. It was surreal. I was
Were
so
you nervous?
grateful. Yeah, definitely nervous. Definitely a little nervous. Definitely a little
which is amazing
jittery.
to me because you're such a confident person.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, there's nothing like going out there and having to perform. You know, it's a blessing. And honestly, it was good nerves though. It was those nerves that like, wow, I really get to do what I love. I really get to come back out here and do what I love. So it was great, honestly. After a few up and downs, get my breath going a little bit, I felt just at home. So
You didn't see, But I hope you felt the smile on your face was gigantic when you walked out on the court for the first time. I hope you felt that.
That's awesome.
What would it mean as a guy who was here at the very early days under Alex Pribble? What would it mean for you to get this team to the NCAA tournament, a place that the University of Idaho hasn't been since the late 80s?
Man, it would mean everything to me, honestly. It is the forefront of my mind when I wake up and before I go to bed every day, and it's part of the reason that we're all motivated to work so hard, I think. Especially to be able to do something as special as that at a school that takes care of us, that looks after us, and then paired up with guys who genuinely love each other and who are together and want the best for each other, a coaching staff that believes in all their players and that wants to see their players, genuinely win. It's recipes for success, and I think to be able to do something that special would be huge. So,
Trey Blassingame, thanks for the time. Appreciate the insight. I wish people could see Trey's face because he's got a smile on this entire 12.5-minute interview. So I appreciate you doing that.
Yes,
Thanks
sir.
so much.
Thank you for having me, always.
The men are back home Saturday hosting Eastern Oregon. Our coverage will start at 5:30 Pacific, 6:30 Mountain Time, with a tip time 30 minutes later, 6 Pacific, 7 o'clock Mountain Time, live from the Idaho Central Credit Union Arena. This Idaho Vandal Insider podcast is presented by Inland Orthopedic Surgery and Sports Medicine Clinic of Moscow and Pullman. When he's not caring for the Vandals as team physician, orthopedic surgeon Dr. Matt Taylor provides the same MVP orthopedic care to our entire region. At Inland Orthopedics, our team is your team.
Welcome back to the Idaho Vandal Insider podcast. We are now joined by sophomore guard from the Vandal women's basketball team, Anya Pinheiro. How are you?
I'm good.
Welcome back to the podcast.
Thank you.
When you left last time, we did this a year ago, had you on. Did you go, well, that was a complete waste of time, or did you enjoy that?
I really enjoy it.
Yeah. We try to introduce people who are sitting in the stands or watching on TV, but they don't get a chance to talk to you.
Yeah.
That's kind of what we want to do. So, is there something that's new in your life? Something different from last year?
Yeah, a few things. Like, the main thing, I don't live on campus anymore. I live out of campus. Like, that's great. I love living out of campus. And, like, the team, all different team. Like, a lot of players new, like, really good players. Yeah.
So the dorms, you didn't know. You know what? Nobody likes the dorms. Okay, it's the greatest thing about becoming a sophomore when you're not a freshman anymore. You don't have to live in the dorms.
Yeah.
So, are you living with teammates or do you have other people?
I'm living with Ana Bia.
Okay.
And a girl from track and field.
Okay.
Her name is Bia.
Okay. Is she a Portuguese speaker?
Yeah, she's Brazilian.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's three ladies that speak Portuguese.
Yeah.
Where did you learn your English? Where did you learn? Because we're doing this in English because I can't do it in Portuguese.
Yeah.
So where did you learn your English? How comfortable were you when you came here with your English?
I was not that comfortable. Like, speaking with people here, like, helped me develop my English more. That's why, like, Arthur always tells us, like, speak in English, because when I'm with Ana Bia, I always speak in Portuguese. And, like, talking English helped me a lot. Yeah.
Okay, so we won't tell Arthur because he doesn't listen. Are you speaking English in your house? Are you guys speaking
No
Portuguese?
way, no.
Yeah.
I speak Portuguese in my house.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're still thinking Portuguese when you speak English?
Yeah.
Or are you starting to think English in your head?
Sometimes. Like, last year, I just started in Portuguese. This year, I think I start, like, a little bit more English. Like, when I count in English on my head, and that's different.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Don't tell your mom or dad that, right? You're becoming an American. How is it different for you the second year in a program, playing basketball?
Oh, like, the main thing, like, we are playing very fast this year, like, way faster than last year. Yeah, and that's been good for us. That's been help us, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, is it easier?
I mean, at first, no, because, Jesus, we were, like, tiring at practice.
Well, you didn't have that summer because last year you guys played all summer.
Yeah.
And now you had a little bit more time that you weren't together. And now maybe Arthur's trying to speed things up for you.
No. Yeah, but, like, he's been helping us so much, like, playing that, like, with that pace. So, yeah.
Refresh our memories. How did you wind up at Idaho? Obviously, with Arthur, being a Brazilian, and you are from Portugal, which is Portuguese speaking. How did you finally decide Idaho is where you're going to play basketball?
Like my previous coach, like he knew Arthur, like he knew a friend that was a friend of Arthur, and that helped me a little bit. Like my agent like talked to me like and said that this was like a good program, and then like talking with Arthur, like FaceTiming and stuff, like he showed me like the facilities, and I just really like it.
You had a big game against Washington State. You also had your first double-double against UC Davis. Your sophomore year seems to be fitting in kind of the way you were kind of hoping. Why do you think you're getting more production than maybe you did in your first year? Is it just the fact you're on the court more?
Yeah, and like I just feel like more comfortable with the girls, like more comfortable like with the coaching, like everything is like more comfortable to me this year.
I wanted to go back to the Davis game for a second. 17 points, career high. 11 rebounds, career high. Double-double, first time you've done that. 6 assists, career high. Yeah. What got into you? I mean, was it like, could you feel you were doing this? Or was it just like playing and then you looked at the stats and went, holy cow.
Yeah, it was just like playing. Just like doing the things like Arthur told me, like the staffing coach told us, like rebound, like run hard. Like I was just doing that, and I just didn't think like about the stats. And then after, it was good.
Coaches will say, I can tell when my athlete makes the next step because they just stop thinking and start doing. Is that kind of what your sophomore year has been? It's less thinking, more doing?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I mean, I just like go to the game like trying to like do whatever like they told us to do on scout stuff, like scouting, and just try to execute what they told us.
You have played for your national team in Portugal.
Mm-hmm.
What's that feeling like when you look down and there? It's not a school, it's not a town, it's a country, and it's your country. What's that feeling like?
Like there's no better feeling than like representing our country. Like such a big proud, like such a big passion, like playing for Portugal. Yeah.
We know soccer. Football is big in Portugal. You have one of the greatest players to ever play the game in Cristiano Ronaldo.
The greatest,
Okay. Well, the Messi people might argue with you, and the Pele people from a million years ago, the Brazilians might argue. But he's certainly in that realm. How big is basketball in Portugal?
It started to grow a lot. Like we have like a player in NBA, like in Mias, like start like growing. Like last year, we went for the first time women's basketball to the European. We qualified to the European championship, the tournament, and like it's being good. Like it's growing.
I got to believe everybody in Portugal, the first sport they play is soccer, football, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So how did you get out of the soccer grasps? You're 6 foot tall.
Yeah.
So I would have figured the volleyball coaches and the basketball coaches might have been hovering around you when you were a younger player.
Like when I was younger, I was really small. It was like because of my brothers. Like he started like playing basketball, and then we joined him.
Yeah. Your older brothers are the reason you're playing hoops?
Yeah, my oldest. Yeah.
And how tall is he?
He's like, let me think on like.
Well, you're 6 foot.
He's like 6'6", 6'5". Like he's pretty tall.
Are your mom and dad tall?
My dad is tall. My mom is like medium.
She's just average, right?
Yeah.
That's got to be weird for her to kind of be an average person, and everybody else is kind of towering in the pictures. You're putting your hand, your arm on your mom's head, and those kind of things. A lot of people say this is an NCAA tournament team. This is a team that we think is going to have a great season. When somebody says that to you early on in the season, when you guys really haven't done a whole lot of anything other than expectations, how do you deal with that? How do you take that? How do you internalize that, or do you?
I just like excited of this team. Yeah, we have like such good talents. Like we practice hard every day. Like it's such a good feeling. Like being on this team, playing with this girl, being with this girl in the locker room, on court. It's really exciting.
Yeah. Was language a barrier for you at all, anywhere here, campus, playing?
No, not that much. Like at the beginning, I was like I had difficulties like talking English and talking at all on the court. But this year is like way better.
Yeah. You feel like you walked in here differently. It's like it feels like you're more comfortable in your own skin with everything.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, because you probably, and correct me if I'm wrong, when stepping on the basketball court was a comfort zone for you last year.
Mm-hmm.
But talking to people, going to class, living in the dorms, kind of got you out of your comfort zone. How did you deal with that? How did you make yourself better? Or is it just learning the language?
I mean, mostly learning the language and like know the people. Like, like now like I know the people, like it's better, like I feel more comfortable with everything. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Yeah. So I always ask this of foreign players. Is there anything that we do here, Americans, that when you got here you thought, well, that's stupid. Why do they do that? Because I guarantee you there are people in Portugal, or if Americans would go to Portugal and would say, well, why do they do that stupid? So was there one of those things that you just couldn't get over? It's like, why are they doing that?
Okay, like the main thing like is like you guys like just go to dinner so early, like 5 a.m., like 5 p.m. dinner, like I mean, what? Like at that time, like I'm doing like my afternoon lunch, like, and you guys like, we have a dinner at 5. Like, no, we're not going to have dinner at 5. No, that's like the main thing. Yeah.
Eating early.
Like really early, yeah.
Well, there's old people, not me, but there are other old people my age that even eat earlier than 5.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I know. I agree with you that if you eat dinner at 4 o'clock, yes, that's a little bit wild. Yeah. So it's always great to visit with you. I'm so happy that that you're having more fun this year, and you feel like you're fitting in more, which is really cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
And make sure you speak English, right?
Yeah.
That's Arthur's
rule.
Yeah. Don't be speaking Portuguese. Anya Pinheiro joining us. We appreciate it. Good luck the rest of the way, and thanks for being part of our podcast today.
Thank you so much for having me.
The women have a pair of home games this week. Friday, the Vandals host UC Riverside at 7:30 Pacific. And on Sunday, back in ICCU Arena for an afternoon contest to face Cal State Fullerton at 1. That's going to do it for this week's Idaho Vandal Insider Podcast. Thanks to all of our guests. Just a reminder, our next Coaches Show will be on December 2nd as we switch gears. It'll be our first full basketball Coaches Show of the year, live from 42 Bar Kitchen. Don't forget, our new time as well, 6 o'clock Pacific, 7 o'clock Mountain Time, 1 hour earlier for the rest of the year on the Idaho Vandals Radio Network. I'm Dennis Patchin saying thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week for another edition of the Idaho Vandal Insider Podcast.
This has been the Vandal Insider Podcast, presented by Inland Orthopedic Surgery and Sports Medicine Clinic of Moscow and Pullman. Let the team that takes care of the Vandals take care of you. Get the latest information on University of Idaho athletics you won't find anywhere else with the Vandal Insider Podcast. From in-depth conversations to game previews, the Vandal Insider is every fan's source for all things Idaho athletics.